If the Who's want to go bowling, this weekend is a must. We preview Virginia versus North Carolina. Also, coming off of a 6-3 week, the Cavalier Connection give their CavalierGold.com best three bets for week 8 in the NFL. All this and more today on the Cavalier Connection. Welcome into another edition of the Cavalier Connection. I'm your host, Jeff, joined as always by my Who's sidekick, Jay. How are you tonight, Jay?
Man, doing good. Getting ready for this oldest rivalry in the South coming up this weekend.
Rivalry in the South, no doubt. Before we get started, we want to make sure if you guys are listening, audience out there, make sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube page and on Facebook at the Cavalier Connection. Where also you can catch us on X at Talk UVA Sports or on Instagram at _Cavalier_Connection_. Make sure to check us out. So as we get started, I know you guys heard us on Wednesday, the exciting news of our new sponsor, Mincers. And I know we talked to Hare about this on Wednesday, but I remember us going into Mincers for the first time probably 30 years ago and thinking we've died and gone to heaven. UVA gear as far as the eye could see. We found some great deals that day and left with tons of new UVA stuff. Today, they would call that UVA swag.
Yeah.
They always have a great selection on anything you could possibly ever want to show off your UVA pride. This stuff is not cheap, Jay. It's not cheaply made. It's not low quality. It's high quality, long-lasting sportswear. You want a T-shirt? You want a polo? Check. You want sweatshirts? Check. Hoodie? Check. Pullovers and hats? Check. What about that hat you're wearing right now, Jay? Check.
Yeah, right here.
Right from Mincers. I'll be there this Saturday. And I'm probably going to be hitting the check in two ways because I'll probably have to write the check to buy the hat. But if you want
people in line, Jeff, if you use a check,
I'll be honest. It's going to be the card. I promise, folks. Don't worry.
They might not take check. We have to check.
I promise it's not. It's not going to be a check. I can't. I don't write checks. You got to write them for the school for the field trips sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you want deals, also, you got to check out the orange tag sales. They're literally insanely low prices. And also, they have some sales coming so good, we only allowed to share them yet. Be ready. They're coming. We'll be putting them out as soon as they come out. A part of UVA community since 1948. Make Mincers a part of your game day experience. You'll be glad you did. Go to Mincers.com. That's MINCERS.com or visit one of their 2 locations in Charlottesville. Thank you to Mincers. This weekend, the Who's come back home to face off with a UNC team that's had their share of struggles this season. The Tar Heels come into this game 0-3 in conference play and 3-4 overall. Big if, Virginia is to make a bowl game this season, this feels like a must win. Jay, what do the Who's have to do to win this game Saturday?
It's going to be a tall task. I'm going to say that first. I think there's a lot of people listening to this potentially that think we're just going to win this game. Like we're just better than them or like this is literally a coin flip game. And people need to understand that. They need to go in with that mindset. This is not a game that you had better go in and just think, oh, we're just going to win. I mean, Carolina stinks this year, and there's some things going against us in this game. There's a whole lot of things going against us in this game, and I'll point out a few. One, Carolina's coming off their bye week. You know, they've had a chance to heal up. They've had a chance to study themselves. They've had an extra week to prepare for us. All of those things, you know, advantages we didn't have. Motivation, you think they need it. I mean, they've lost 4 in a row. Look at the back half of their schedule, Jeff. There's not a game that they won't either win, be favored to win, or should win left. Theoretically, if they beat us, they could win 8 games. All right. You think they need more motivation? Last year, Virginia went into North Carolina. They're the number 10 team in the country, undefeated, with the, number 3 pick in the draft this year, Drake May, a quarterback, and we pulled the upset. You think they forgot that?
Yeah.
Need more motivation. Our thoughts and prayers are with the university and the football team. They just lost the young man that played for them, and I'm sorry, I don't have the name in front of me. Cancer.
Yep.
Took that young man, and you know, they dealt with that tragedy of losing him this week with services for him. Do you think somebody is going to wear his jersey? One player is going to wear his jersey number for the rest of the year, different player every game to honor him. Do you think they want to play for him? Let's look at what they do well. They got a running back, Hampton, Amarian. I don't know how you pronounce it.
I think it's Amarian.
This dude's a monster. He's a monster. He's averaging basically 6 yards a carry. Okay. Power run game. They're going to line it up. A lot of times it'll be in the shotgun, but it's just going to be a power run with him. And he's a bowling ball. He's a big kid. We don't typically, those are the guys that give us a lot of trouble. Let's look at who they throw the ball to. They do have a dynamic outside receiver who can beat you deep, but that really hasn't been our big issue this year. Where are we getting beat consistently, Jeff?
Tight end.
And they don't have just one. They've got 2 tight ends in their top 3 or 4 pass catchers if you count a running back. They got a receiver that has 24 catches. And their tight ends are 20 catches or around 20 catches and 3 touchdowns each. So they're hitting them, often. They're hitting them in the red zone. They both have 3 touchdowns. We don't cover the tight end well. This matchup, to me, everything is pointing to a red alert going into this game. We're coming off a loss against a very physical Clemson team. We're probably still physically beat up a little bit. We've now lost 2 in a row for the first time this year. How will the team respond to a losing streak? That'll be interesting to see. But Carolina's got a lot of things going, and a lot of things they do well, we don't particularly do well against. And so I'm painting a less than rosy picture here. Jeff, give me some hope. All the things I told you, now you give me some hope as a Virginia fan.
So you and I are both of the age where we have a little too much, a little too pessimistic. I can't get the word pessimistic. We have had North Carolina's number for quite some time. Like, it doesn't make sense, just like last year going in and beating them. But, North Carolina definitely has revenge on their mind for us to go in there and beat them and really end there. What they were hoping was an opportunity.
6-0, I think, last year.
They were undefeated, and they with the opportunity potentially to win the ACC and go to bigger and better things. We'll see. Coach Elliott is telling Calandria he needs to open up his style of play a little bit and maybe take a little more risk. I don't know. I always thought they were holding him back, but maybe he's just concerned of turning the football over because the narrative out there was he didn't protect the ball. But we need to see aggressive Calandria to give us a shot. I mean, definitely don't take this. You definitely can't take we're the Virginia Cavaliers. We can't be taking anybody for granted. North Carolina scored a ton of points this year. Scoring hasn't been the big issue. They've given up a ton. Early on, they only gave up the 17 to Minnesota, but they scored 38 against Charlotte, 45 against UNC Central, 50 against JMU. You think they win that game, but no, they gave up 70. So that, can we score some points? Duke UNC, close one. Pitt, they gave up 34 to Pitt. So we should be able to score. Georgia Tech scored 41 on them. So we need to score the football. And Petty Hawk said our defensive eyes are not very good with those tight ends coming out, and we just can't pick them up, and we can't read it. And so, as you said, North Carolina has got a couple good tight ends, and so I don't know what we're doing this week to prepare for North Carolina. They had the injury bug hit them this year, and they've had some tough breaks. It's a team that I don't know what their over-under was coming in, maybe 7.5, I think it was. I kind of thought they were an over, but as you said, if they can beat us, they get Florida State at Florida State. That's one you might have chalked up as an L before the season, but Florida State is just god-awful. Then you got Wake Forest at home. They travel to Boston College, who is not the same Boston College as they were at the start of the year, and then finish the season up with NC State at home. So like you said, I mean, this team could still carve out 7 or 8 wins.
I don't think there's any way they don't get to 6 and go bowling.
Correct. I agree. Because they're 3. They need 3 more, and you figure Wake Forest is a win.
NC State is a win.
NC State should be a win.
Florida State should be a win. We could be a win. Like I said, theoretically, they could go 8-4. And are you still talking about Mac Brown potentially being fired if he goes 8-4, winning his last, 5 games or whatever it will be?
5 games. 5 games.
Yeah.
Definitely one. Virginia is not in a position. We're not a team that should ever be looking past anybody. I don't care if we're playing Richmond, William and Mary, Tidewater Community College. You don't look past anybody. You go out. And Coach Elliott, I don't believe Coach Elliott is ever going to be looking past anybody.
No.
He doesn't have that personality.
Not at all.
So that's a positive. So
on the injury front, Jeff, we are going to get Clary back, it looks like.
Yep.
And Trell Harris is still out. He's going to be out for a little bit. But getting Clary back is big for the defense.
Yes.
He's like the senior statesman that, he's the glue guy back there. And so that's a huge a thing to have him back. Listening to Jerry Ratcliffe's show today, I can't remember if Jerry said this or the other Jerry. I think his name's Jerry, the other guy who hosts with him.
Yeah.
One of them came out flat out said the Louisville game they felt like was more on the coaching staff that we lost that game than the players. You can't have that happen on Saturday. You can't have the situation like you had at Clemson where you're down at the goal line. We listen to Petty Hawk or Ball Hawks Believe in Virginia podcast. When you got something that's working, especially against a team like Carolina that's clearly got some deficiencies on the defensive side of the ball, you run that thing until they stop it. Because JMU hung 53 on them in the first half.
Yep.
I mean, I saw that and I thought, my God, they're awful. But then you look, and this just shows you how quickly things can turn around. JMU scored 14 last week against Georgia Southern.
Right.
How bad is that Carolina defense? I mean, Will they just quit? Did they quit?
Right.
And will they quit Saturday? Like, that's the thing. Like, mentally, will they show up? And I think, like the things I mentioned before, you're playing for a fallen teammate. We know all too well that gives you a lot of motivation. And so it's going to be a very tall task, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a track meet. I think you're going to see teams going up and down the field. And we'll see. It could be one of those situations where it just comes down to, who's got the ball last.
Ball hawk, I was going to talk about exactly what you were just saying. Ball hawk hits the nail on the head, and it's not just Virginia. I don't understand why coaches sometimes, I think coaches try to get too cute sometimes, try to be the smartest person in the room. But if halfback scissors is working, run halfback scissors, keep pushing it down their throats until they can't stop it anymore. Or at some point, you've run it so much that all of a sudden a play action opens up, for a wide open deep pass. Yeah. I just don't understand. Just like we talked about on Wednesday's episode, Grady Bunch. You need a yard, or 2 yards, second down, third down, even. Run it for a yard, run it for 2, do it again, push it, control the clock. Do what works. If it works, do it.
I was at a high school game Friday night, Jeff, and I'm watching, and every time my high school that I, am in the school system of, every time they would run out to the left, it would just get shut down. They had a big D end. He would control the end, control the line of scrimmage, no gain, loss, yard pickup, whatever. On the right side, when they ran right, it was a weak kid on the right side, and they would just hit that corner and they'd pick up 8 to 10 yards every time. I'm like, why are we even screwing around running to the left ever?
Right.
They can't stop you in their current formation to the right.
Jay.
And we would just mix it up. We just mix it up. And you get into like a 3rd and long because they ran it left twice in a row. It's like, why are you doing that?
Right. It's like, I'm going to clean this up a little bit, but it's like, we've been attacked in the past for playing volleyball. You look on the other side of the net and you see the person we're going to clean it up and say not very good.
Yeah.
And you hit it to that person every single time.
Yeah.
And it pisses off the other team.
Yeah.
But guess what? I won.
Yeah.
I won. Like, why am I going to worry about hitting it to somebody who might can return it when this person can't even return? It's going to go right into the net or to the ground. And I'm going to first get a laugh. And second, I'm going to win. So why push the envelope and be like, this time I'm going to hit it this guy and let's just see what I got.
Let's give him a chance.
Give him a chance.
Let's give him a chance.
I don't give a crap. I'm going to give a chance to the person who can't hit the ball back to me every single time until they decide to get him off the court.
Yeah. Play a man down if you need to, because we're coming for the kid holding the Nintendo.
That's right. Call me what you want. Give me all the bad nicknames in the world. I don't care as long as I get the W.
You play to win the game.
That's correct. So we'll see. Big game this Saturday. If we want to make
doing final score predictions, I haven't gotten mine just yet, but I
haven't got mine yet either. But it's a must win if we want to go bowling.
For sure.
All right, moving on. It's time for our newest sponsored segment, which is the CavalierGold.com Best 3 Bets. Jay, we talk about this every flipping week. We have gotten to the age. We talk about our age, but I got to talk about my body. As I sit here in this chair and, we've been doing this show for, going on 20 minutes. Been doing some other work at this desk here for the last hour, and I'm hurting. The back's getting me. When you get to those points in life, what are you thinking about doing, Jay?
You just want to rest. You just want to not do anything.
I want to rest.
Not wake up and go to work.
That's right. And so that gets me to thinking, you get to an age.
You want to do what Tony Bennett just did, Jeff?
Exactly what Tony Bennett just did. That's retire. And when you get to our age and our body starts hurting like this, you're looking to, earlier on you might have had a little risky business going on, but now it's time for safe retirement. And that's what's getting on my mind. Coach Bennett, I know you're watching. And so if you're interested, Coach Bennett, you're welcome to call us. reach out. We'll get that number off air to you. Or you can go to cavaliergold.com, because what's safer than a gold or silver IRA? And, with our partner, Genesis Gold Group, in today's uncertain world, securing your financial future is more important than ever. That's why I've learned, and Jay's learned, that partnering with Genesis Gold Group is a smart decision. And they are here to introduce you to a smarter way to protect your savings. With a gold IRA, you're not just saving, you're investing in the stability and enduring value of gold. And as I'm getting to that age, I got to be thinking about that, stability of that gold. Let's get prepared, not just for the next harvest, but for our financial future. Just hit it, cavaliergold.com. Just go check things out. Just search around in there, sniff around a little bit, and secure your future with a gold IRA. That's cavaliergold.com. So as we come upon this segment, this is our time to discuss, the positives and the negatives. And, we've got 7 weeks into the season. And last week, all three of us went 2-1. So if you look at the weeks prior, this was actually a bad week for us. We were actually 6-3 this week. But 6-3 is a winning week. And as Jay has said earlier, if you just follow the plan, you bet what we give you right now. If you did that, you're 24-34, 28-1. You're on the plus side. You take that money, you go to cavaliergold.com, and you can turn that sucker into a retirement to be proud of.
Yeah, that was impressive. Quick addition about the third grade math, but quick.
Hey, listen, I'm third grade math equivalent. If you take a look at my SAT scores, my PSAT scores, they said third grade math. And that's what I just pulled off right there for you folks.
Yeah.
So that's the standings as we speak. And as we move into the night's picks, Jay, you want to give me your first one?
Yeah, so these lines, I don't normally do this, Jeff. I don't normally take the heavy favorites. But I just, man, there's two of them. And I'll give you the first one. And, watching the Ravens play, they're just too good. They're just too good. Cleveland is going to be starting Jameis this week. He's good for probably a pick six. He'll throw a couple touchdowns too, but Cleveland's just a franchise on the decline. Baltimore is getting given 9, so I'll take Baltimore -9 there.
I had sniffed that game out a little bit.
It's a lot of points.
I had actually thought about taking the over. I just left the game alone because I really believe the Ravens are going to handle business, of course, as you do. Actually, I like that pick a lot. And I also thought about messing with that game with the over because Baltimore's offense is ridiculous. And Cleveland's not going to stop them. And then I wasn't even thinking about it at the time, as you're saying, Jameis quarterback, and he probably will throw for a couple touchdowns. I was just trying to figure out how's Cleveland going to score. That was my only concern.
Yeah.
Because I think the over-under in that one was maybe – it was maybe 49.5.
I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, it was in the 40s. It wasn't over 50.
And so in my brain, I was like, well, Baltimore might score 42 themselves.
It's possible.
So for my first one, I'll go to an over-under game pick. I'm taking the under 41.5 in the Pats and Jets. And I feel like they're probably begging me to take the under there, so it's probably going to be about 27-20. So, but neither offense has shown a whole heck of a lot, and for that matter, the Jets' defense was garbage themselves against Pittsburgh. It made Russell Wilson look like Seahawk Russell Wilson. So I'll take the Pats. I'll take the under 41.5 in that one. I'll give you Jack's first pick. Jack went. Texans. He took Texans -5.5 against the Colts. So I don't have any story to tell you. He texted me 3 picks. I'm not a big fan of that, but
yeah, Indianapolis is just like
they're crap.
They could lose by 30, or they could win by 2 touchdowns. I don't know what I'm going to get.
And the game's in Indy, isn't it? Is it in Indy?
I think it's in Houston, but still, you just don't know what you're going to get from them.
Yep. What you got for number 2?
So I said I had two big heavy favorites. I don't know if you've heard this, Jeff. Andy Dalton was in a car accident today.
Oh, I didn't.
And so their last report was he was being checked out at the. Everybody's okay first and foremost, so that's good. But he was being checked out at the Panthers facility. Denver's a 9-point favorite. I don't even think Denver's very good.
Right.
They have Bo Nix, but my God, Carolina is one of the worst teams I've seen since like the 0-16 Lions.
Right.
With the bags on the heads.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've seen a team that bad in some time. So, 9 is, again, a lot of points. I don't like to lay that much normally. But Sean Payton is the type coach. If he can run it up on you, he will.
He will.
And,
he's like Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, so I see the -9, and we'll just take our chances.
Yeah, I looked at that one, too. I left that one alone, too, only because it was the Broncos. And I was like, God, that's a lot of points. But the Panthers are so bad, as I witnessed in person this past week. I mean, 9 points is so many points. But, yeah, I mean, the Panthers they're just god-awful.
Yeah.
For my second one, I'm going to another over-under. I'm going to say I got over 44 in the Commanders-Bears game. I know that
if Daniels plays, I love that. I feel like that's just the lock of the week. If Daniels plays,
I don't think Daniels is going to play, but Caleb Williams they've been scoring some points in Chicago.
Yep.
And Washington's been scoring some points, and I believe even with Mariota against the Bears, I think we're going to score too. And so I expect that to be a high scoring game. Something like 27-24 or something like that. And that's,
that line's pretty low. I feel like.
Yeah.
Bears have a good defense. I like that pick, though. I like that pick a lot.
For Jack's next pick, he went he says Jaguars stink. The Packers -4.5 versus the Jags. That's the pick.
Yeah, they're coming back from 2 weeks in London. Yep. I thought you normally got a bye week when you came back from London.
Listen, they've made them, they had an interesting take. I think Shannon saw this on social media that they should make the rule when you go to London, you got to win your way back to the States. You stay there till you win a game. It's kind of like
New England probably wouldn't come back.
Carolina would definitely not be coming back.
No, not at all. Yeah, that's an interesting line. I mean, Green Bay is obviously good, but again, 4.5 in the NFL when you're on the road. And Jacksonville played well. Sunday they got down 10-0, and then from that point on played pretty good. So I don't personally. I'd have an opinion on. I would play the Packers if I had to choose one, but I just stay away myself.
What?
So for my last pick, I really like this one a lot, which means this will probably be the one that I go 2-1, and this will be the one because I like this one the most. But you got two teams struggling right now that both had high expectations coming into the year. It'll probably be like the game of the week, even though neither team is playing worthy of that. And that's Dallas at San Francisco. I'm going to take Dallas plus the 4.5. They're coming off of a bye week. They're coming off of everybody telling them that they're just horrible. San Francisco's coming off of a loss at home to KC where they're just not playing very well. And they lost Ayuk for the year. Debo has pneumonia, so I wouldn't expect him to play. Purdy threw 3 interceptions last week. No McCaffrey. I just don't see how they're getting 4.5. So give me Dallas plus 4.5. And actually, I'll call a Dallas outright win. But I'm not going to play that. The bet is plus 4.5.
You said so. You got money line. I looked at that. Is it 4.5? Okay, I'm seeing it at 4.
4.5 is -115. That's what I got it at earlier. So, -110 is your typical. So you're paying a little extra juice, but
yeah, that's two teams that are spiraling a bit. And those losses for Brock Purdy, no Christian McCaffrey, no Ayuk, no Debo.
Yeah. Kittle's going to get a heavy dose.
Yeah.
And then
Mason,
beyond that,
Jawan, maybe your boy Jawan Jennings will do something.
He could. It's one of them things. It's Dallas is going to be healthy, as healthy as they've been, and I think they got a little chip on their shoulder this week. So
you would have thought they had a chip on their shoulder last game they played too, but just because Dak Prescott's your quarterback and CeeDee Lamb is your receiver on the fantasy team,
that's a fact too.
Doesn't mean to bet it.
I don't even know that it's going to be a good game. As far as I
just really envision a bad game there.
Yeah, but I think 4.5.
That's a lot of points.
A lot of points for a team that's struggling.
When I was looking at that one, I was in your favor if I was betting it. I was too scared of it, but I would be in your favor because San Francisco is just and not to get into a bunch of that, but I was listening to the show on Fox Sports Radio this afternoon. I don't know why I can't come up with our names.
Wow, national or local?
National with Kevin Wildes and the show I'm talking about. My Kansas City Chiefs guy.
Nick Wright.
Nick Wright, that show.
Okay.
And they gave some stunning. I really didn't know the stats on Brock Purdy over his last 26 games or whatever. It's really not that good, especially when he's had these injuries. So
he was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. I mean, at some point, in
a Shanahan system, if the players are there for you, a quarterback can succeed. But when they're not there and your talent has to take over, they're just comparing his first. I'm making these numbers up. First 26 game versus back 26.
Right,
games.
right.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
My last pick, I'm taking. This is just me because I'm a Josh Allen fan. I'm gonna take the Bills -3 against the Seahawks. I don't have a lot to say about it other than the fact that I'm a Josh Allen fan. I like the Bills. I don't really respect the Seahawks, but of course I didn't respect them last week, and I took.
I was going to say this is 2 weeks in a row you've gone against the Seahawks.
The Falcons +2.5 last week, or -2.5.
They were -2.5.
Yeah, -2.5, and Seahawks showed me up big time. Geno Smith still coming to play. Kenneth Walker has been rolling. I'm talking myself out of this pick, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with my pick. Josh Allen and Amari Cooper and the crew is going to get the job done against Seattle -3.
Right.
And for Jack's last pick, he's taken I do like this one. I had looked at this Panthers and Broncos under 43.5. I don't know how the Panthers are going to score. That Bronco defense is good. So I don't know how the Washington Commander Redskin defense is not very good, and they scored 7. The Broncos defense is good. I don't know how the Panthers really score much.
And think if Dalton can't go because of this car accident,
right?
If he got banged up, because it could be whiplash or anything. I mean, right. It could be a minor injury, but something that would keep you out of football. And whew.
But can you imagine if the Broncos defense plays like they can, and just say they hold them to 10, which is more than Washington gave up?
Yeah,
that means the Broncos would have to score 34 points. The Broncos.
Now, I will say, just beware. I took the under in the Broncos and Raiders, and it was like 36.5. And I think Denver scored 34 on their own that day.
Well, the Panthers defense is bad, so. But you would think, on the flip side, like you said, our guy, Broncos coach, Sean Payton will put it to you if he can. So he might put it to those Panthers. He says, Washington, you scored 40. Hold my drink. I'll put 43 up. I'll do 43 myself. The question is, will the Panthers score?
Right. Wouldn't that be something if you got the 43, under 43.5, and what was the number? Was it 43.5?
43.5. So if they got 43.
And it was 43-0.
And so last week, Jay had the over 50.5 in the Commander Panther game. Washington's driving down the field with 44 points.
Yeah.
I mean, 30.
Was it?
All right, the Panthers had 7. So A touchdown would have got it to 51. So 37. It was 37-7 Washington.
Yeah.
And Jay has, so that's 44 points. Jay has over, this is Vegas. Jay had over 50 and a half. The Redskins are driving down the field looking like, I was like, oh, what looked like you weren't going to hit was going to be a hit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Jay's about to get a 3-0 week. And
that's
then,
exactly what I was hoping for too, was Washington. I thought Carolina would get a couple touchdowns and then Washington score in the 30s and it would hit.
Right. That's what I would have thought.
But
and then we had to kick the field goal, and that's a wrap.
Yeah, Carolina just they let me down.
Look, I had to get it a fist pump. I'll take 40. I don't want Jay to get to 44. I want to stay right out in front of him.
I was trying to get the Skins to that 4,400 club. The 4,400 club.
Yeah, that's ODU. That's not Washington. But
down in Norfolk, Virginia.
Norfolk.
Oh, Norfolk. Oh, my
Norfolk.
Bad. Norfolk. Yeah, that's Norfolk.
That's what Tony Schiavone would say. Well, welcome into Norfolk, Virginia, to the Norfolk Scope Coliseum for Starcade 87. Yeah, so well, that's our picks for the evening. I hope you guys have enjoyed this the podcast this afternoon, and big game Saturday versus North Carolina.
Big game Sunday too, Washington.
Big game Sunday, Washington versus Chicago. So tune in. If you don't have a ticket to the Virginia-Carolina football game and you're anywhere in the area, go ahead and go get a ticket, get your butt into the seat. We need to try to get some more seats, more people in the stands.
Quick update, Jeff. Still no response from Carla on my email. I'm sure she's a little busy.
I think she's discussing this stuff. So real quick, as you said that, I really meant to bring this up earlier. So a couple of things. Number one, Tony Elliott in his press conference did address the crowd sizes.
I saw. Yep.
Number two, Virginia does have some experiences that they sell. Have you seen it?
No.
It's very interesting. So I'm on there. I got to get some tickets for Shannon and Mason. So Cavalier Connection crowd out there, if you got to hook up or if you're selling your seats, I'll buy them. But when I pulled it up, you can buy experiences. One of which is locker room access. The only difference is a Friday night with the team, but it's $100.
That's it.
Yeah. They have a tailgating experience that you can purchase. And just go on there. Go to and I should have been more prepared for this, but go to virginiasports.com, go to tickets, and you
can I run out
of
the tunnel?
No, and that's what I thought one of them was, but it's not. But you can go on to virginiasports.com and check out. They got about 4 or 5 experiences that you can purchase. I want to say that after our episode last week, those were some of the immediate fixes that were.
I would love to think that.
But there are experiences, and I guess that's shame on me for not knowing that when we talked about it last week. It's not getting the butts in the seats, but
they're not doing a good enough job of letting the people know.
I guess that's true too, because the only reason I found out is I went to buy tickets, and the last thing I'm going to say is, if you look at tickets purchased, according to the Virginia website, there's a lot of tickets that have been purchased. The question is, are the butts going to come to the game? Because this game's going to cost me a decent penny that I didn't anticipate.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The upper deck, you're looking at $25 to the lower deck. Lower deck is if where we sat at for the Richmond game.
Yeah.
Those tickets
I know. Yeah.
Those tickets are $65 just in that.
Holy smokes.
And if you go directly behind the end zone, it's $55. And both of those are plus a $5.
Carolina. Is this on StubHub?
No, this is on Virginia's website.
I go to StubHub. You can
However, nope. Go to StubHub. So I go to StubHub. I go to SeatGeek. I see these same tickets for about $10 cheaper. Well, guess what? They had a flipping $23 fee to go with it per ticket. So I'm like, well, I had them in the cart, was going to buy it. Because I was trying to put them in the lower deck.
Yeah.
$23 a ticket fee.
That's outrageous.
Virginia's site is a $4.95 a ticket fee. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go back to the Virginia route. But I was going to post on Facebook and see if there's any fans
there's always tickets. I'm sure
not going to the game who wants to sell their tickets, or you
can give them an experience to meet the Cavalier Connection.
If they want to give us in, they can meet the spouse of the Cavalier Connection. They can meet one half of the sons of the Cavalier Connection, and I'm happy to come out of the booth where I'm announcing the game. Oh no, I'm not announcing, but I'm watching the game up in the booth. I'll come down, and
I'm not even gonna get to see the game Saturday. Family event, and I'm gonna have to watch it much like. It might be 10 o'clock at night before I get to see it. So
well, I won't spoil it for you, but I'll be running the X account, and I'll be out talking to our recruits, and
take some of our cards. Just whoop, 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 whoop.
Also we got what's his face, Hamrick, I believe, was going to be at this game.
Oh, is he? Okay.
When we talked to him, we told him we were going to be at the Carolina game, and he said to come find him and talk to him. So I'm definitely going to give him the old man dap.
Yeah.
Give him a good old handshake.
Yeah. Look him in the eye. See what kind of grip he's got.
Hey son, what you got? But looking forward to it, and all I gotta say is go Hoos.
Go Hoos.